Hi, welcome back to My Mom Life. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Jordan, and in today's video, I'm showing you how to make an applesauce spice cake. It's perfect for fall, so let's get into it. The ingredients you're going to need are 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 cups of flour, a pinch of nutmeg, 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 2 eggs, 1.5 cups of applesauce, 2/3 cup of oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. To get started, I'm going to add my eggs and sugars to a stand mixer. You don't have to use a stand mixer. You can use a hand mixer if you want, or you can beat this by hand, but you're just going to want to get the eggs and the sugars nice and combined until it's creamy. Okay, so I lost some of the footage of me adding in the applesauce and the oil, and here I am adding in the salt, cinnamon, cloves, and baking soda, yes. And I had already added in half of the flour, so I'm sorry about that. Once your eggs and sugars are nice and creamy, you're going to add in half of your flour. You're going to add in your salt, cinnamon, baking soda, and cloves, and then you will mix that and then add in the rest of your flour. So sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just are going to mix in the dry ingredients a little bit at a time, and then keep on mixing on a slow. I have my mixer on stir, or you can go ahead and take this off of the mixer, which I do here in a second, and mix the rest by hand. Once you have your batter mixed and ready to go, go ahead and spray your bundt pan or whatever pan you're using. You really could use any pan. I like to do it in a bundt pan. You're going to want to spray it really good if you're using a bundt pan, because I always have trouble with them sticking, so I like to spray them really good. And then you're going to pour your batter in, and you're going to bake this in a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes, or until you insert a toothpick and it'll come out clean. That's how you know it's done. Now for the glaze, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter, half a cup of brown sugar, a 1/3 cup of heavy cream or half and half, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 cup to 1 cup of powdered sugar. In a saucepan, you're going to combine the butter, brown sugar, heavy cream, and salt, and you're going to boil them for 1 minute. So start your 1 minute once everything's all melted. So once that butter gets melted, start your 1 minute of boiling, and then you're going to stir in the powdered sugar. And I would highly recommend sifting your powdered sugar, because I did not do that, and you can see in the end result, you can see a few clumps of powdered sugar in my glaze. That didn't bother me because I was just serving this to my family. But if you're serving this at a party or something and you want it to look super nice, I highly recommend sifting your powdered sugar. But The original recipe says 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup. Just depends on how thick you want it. I ended up using the full cup, and you will see in here in a minute when I add it what the consistency should look like. Once you have the glaze done, all you need to do is pour it over your cooled cake. That is one thing you're going to want to do. Make sure your cake is cooled because it'll just melt right off. And here you see, I really didn't wait long enough for the glaze to set. If you let that glaze cool and set a little bit, it won't run so much. So what I ended up doing is, see how it's pooling there in the middle? I ended up scooping some of that. I let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then I scooped some of that in on top, and it was perfectly fine. But this cake is so incredibly good. I will link to the original recipe down below because you guys have to try it for fall. If you like those fall flavors, this is a definite must try. I am going to be making this every year from now on. I've already made it twice this year, and everybody in my family raves about it. So if you are new to my channel, then I would love to have you stick around and subscribe. And if you're one of my subscribers, then thank you so much for coming back, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.